Used Super Duty on a dealer lot. Good price. Maybe too good. If it's a 2003 through 2007, walk away. That's the 6.0 Powerstroke, and its 4-bolt head design triggered a failure chain that cost Ford and Navistar $1.7 billion in court. 4 diesel eras built this truck. Only some of them deserve your money. To find the right truck, track 4 distinct diesel eras. The 7.3 ran from 1994.5 through 2003. This is your benchmark. The 6.0 spans 2003 through 2007. This is your primary avoid range. The worst are 2003 and early 2004. The 6.4 followed from 2008 through 2010. This is the overlooked problem. The 6.7 runs from 2011 to the present. Ford built this engine. It is genuinely better, but it carries one fuel system pump caveat. Write down the engine family before you compare prices. The 1994.5 through 2003 7.3-liter engine built this line's reputation. It features a cast iron block, direct injection, and 6 head bolts per cylinder. 6 bolts. That number matters later. In its final form, it put out 300 horsepower and 520 pound-feet of torque. These engines frequently exceed 300,000 miles without a rebuild. Ford and Navistar retired the 7.3 after 2003 solely to meet tightening nitrogen oxide limits and California noise laws. The engine did not fail. The regulations changed. If you are on a lot, search for a documented 1999 through 2003 model, but verify the physical condition before you pay. The 2003 through 2007 range brings you to the 6.0. This was a Navistar-built engine rather than Ford's own design. Navistar rushed production to beat looming emission standards, delivering a reported 325 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque. But the engineering had a fatal flaw. Navistar used 4 torque-to-yield head bolts per cylinder. 4 bolts, not 6. Under high cylinder pressure, these bolts stretch and lose clamping force, allowing combustion gas and coolant to escape past the head gasket. It escalates in a predictable chain. Leftover casting sand and debris clog the narrow passages of the oil cooler. This blockage raises oil temperature 15 to 20 degrees above the coolant, starving downstream components. Without proper cooling, the thin stainless steel EGR cooler operating near its thermal limit cracks, leaking coolant into the intake. The coolant enters the combustion chamber, spikes pressures, and destroys the head gasket. Replacing a factory EGR cooler alone costs $1,200 to $2,500. And that is just the cheap version of the problem. If you are inspecting a 2003 through 2007 truck at a dealership, check the coolant reservoir for oil residue and white crusting around the cap before you buy. Beyond the cooling system, other failures wait. You face high-pressure oil pump failure, FICM electrical breakdown, and sticking VGT turbo vanes. The weak 4-bolt head architecture remained across the entire run from 2003 to 2007. Repairs may help, but they do not change the design. 2003 and early 2004 are the worst years. These models used fragile ICP sensors, weaker pumps, and aggressive factory calibration. In January 2007, Ford sued Navistar over pricing and design disputes. The court record shows a $1.7 billion settlement in 2014. This settlement extended the powertrain warranty to 6 years, or 120,000 miles. It covered the oil pump, heads, gaskets, and coolers. That warranty expired in 2013. Every 6.0 is now uncovered. At the lot, demand records for the ICP sensor, oil system, and head gaskets. Fine. Everyone knows about the 6.0. Almost nobody warned you about what came next. Knowing the famous 6.0 avoid range is simply not enough to make every later Super Duty a good purchase. The 6.4-liter generation answers one visible weakness while introducing entirely new combustion and after-treatment risks. These are complex, tightly packed systems that can fail quickly and expensively. When you are at the dealership, after ruling out the 6.0, do not automatically accept a 2008 truck as the low-risk alternative. The 2008 through 2010 6.4-liter engine brought a common rail system, twin sequential Borg-Warner turbos, and the first Super Duty diesel particulate filter, delivering 350 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Designers used 16mm head bolts to solve the older head clamping concern, but the entire platform remained high risk. The first failure path occurs inside the combustion chamber. Extreme heat causes cracks to start at the thin edge of the piston fuel bowl, spreading across the crown. Repairing a cracked piston requires complete engine disassembly. The second path involves emissions equipment. During regeneration, raw diesel is injected to heat the filter. This fuel washes past the cylinder walls directly into the crankcase. Buyers often discover an extra gallon of fluid at a scheduled oil change. Diesel, not oil. This diluted mixture quickly destroys main bearings, rod bearings, turbos, and valvetrain components. You must also watch for cracked up pipes, leaking plastic radiator tanks, and clogged EGR systems. While 2010 is the most refined year, 2008 is the worst. At the lot, check the service history of any 2008 or 2009 truck for oil analysis, piston work, and regeneration repairs. After parting with Navistar, Ford took control of its own design. In 2011, they introduced the 6.7-liter powerstroke. This was Ford's first completely in-house diesel. It has remained in production from 2011 to the present. This engine is genuinely better than the earlier Navistar-built models, but the early years carry a specific warning. If you are inspecting a 2011 or 2012 truck, check the turbocharger. Service records show these early models suffered from premature turbo bearing failures. Ford redesigned the turbocharger for 2013, but the earliest 6.7 trucks require close inspection. The 6.7 is a better engine, but you must inspect the fuel pump. Ford equipped 2011 through 2019 engines with the Bosch CP 4.2. For 2020 through 2022, they updated to the CP4RP7. This pump relies entirely on diesel fuel for lubrication. It was engineered for European diesel, which is more lubricious than dry United States fuel. An active class action lawsuit, filed in Texas in December 2018, alleges this design is fundamentally defective. The suit alleges that internal pump components rub together from the first start, shedding metal shavings that destroy the injectors, fuel rails, and the entire engine. If this happens, a full rebuild ranges from $8,000 to $20,000. Look at the named plaintiff in the Texas case. He bought a new 2020 F-350. His pump reportedly failed at 23,000 miles. The lawsuit alleges Ford denied warranty coverage, leaving him with a repair bill totaling $12,838. As of mid-2026, this case remains active and unsettled. Do not confuse this with the official 2020 through 2022 recall, which only provides a software update. It does not replace the hardware, and 2011 through 2019 trucks have no recall coverage at all. Other brands responded differently to this pump. GM used the CP4 on the LML Duramax for 6 model years before switching to a Denso pump on the LP5. In 2017, ending in a $50 million settlement. Ram used it for 2 model years, experienced identical failures, and reverted to the CP3 in 2021, recalling more than 300,000 trucks. Ford committed to the CP4 in 2011 and has not moved away. These decisions do not prove every Ford pump will fail, but they show the industry scrutiny. Ask the dealership for fuel system service records and pump generation verification before you buy. Before you buy a 6.7, check the serviceable crankcase ventilation filter housing. A saturated element raises crankcase pressure, forcing oil past the crank seals. Look for the factory injector programming code sticker. Here's your short list. Buy 1999 through 2003 7.3s, 2010 6.4s, and 2014 to the present 6.7s, especially 2020 through 2022. Avoid 2003 through 2007 6.0s and 2008 through 2009 6.4s. Approach 2011 through 2019 6.7s with caution due to the CP 4.2 pump. Now look back at that filter housing. If the factory sticker is still there, that filter has never been changed, exposing the engine to elevated pressure. Photograph the housing, ask when it was serviced, and compare their answer to the records. Finally, run the VIN through gov to verify recalls. Pull a complete service history before money changes hands. Subscribe for more straightforward truck buying guides. Today, buying a used diesel is a high-stakes gamble. With $20,000 repair bills on the line, the best truck isn't the one with the most torque. It is the one that stays out of the shop.